The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm Nikki Glaser. We are here in St. Louis. Andrew Collin is here. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, Nick?
Yo. Noah is in Arizona. Noah, you're in a different space today. Mentally, physically?
Not really mentally. Physically,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in New York.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
you
I went to
doing
visit
there?
my dad. So he's storing me in this little room.
Well, you got a good setup there.
Thanks.
Looks like you got a good mic stand.
This is the only part of the house that doesn't have some like weird Romanian relic on the wall.
What's like an example of a Romanian relic?
He has
Like,
these,
I wouldn't even know what that
weird,
is.
like dolls, like weird dolls
Okay.
and figurines
Yes.
and things.
You have really white teeth, too. Have you been whitening
No.
recently?
I think it's
Oh my
just,
God, they
it's
look
just the
so
lighting.
white.
Oh, thanks.
It might be. Well, I need to get that ring light. Tooth whitening is so interesting because it works and your teeth look white because I use the little light, you know, you put the stuff and I put it in my Invisalign trays and then I just hold on to the light and I redo the light over and over. Like it says to do it for 3 minutes, but I just keep going. And then my teeth will be so white. And then the second I have a beverage second I gargle with Diet Cola.
Yeah.
Diet Cola? What am I? It's
Yeah, what's going on over there? You had some pop?
Yeah, some Tab. When I
Did you call it pop as a kid? That's a big thing I remember.
No.
Remember when you were younger? Oh, you call it pop? I
yeah,
call
that
it
was
soda.
I remember the first time I ever went to an open mic night with my dad to see what what it was like. Andy Woodhull, who is a comedian that is still out and about, he's so good. It was his first time doing stand up, and that night I saw him go up, and I like loved his joke. He was like, "I think the next Civil War is going to be over whether you called it soda or pop." And I thought that was I remember I went up to him afterwards, and I was like, "I really like that joke about the Civil War." And it was his first time on stage, which I did not know, and he never forgot it. And then I ended up being obviously a comic on the scene, and he was like, "You were the one that came out to me on my first time I ever did stand up and told me that joke was good." And
That's why he's still doing it today.
probably, I mean, it maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. Like,
I know.
That's how much it matters when someone, especially like a young, cute girl, probably he was a young, cute boy, was probably like,
He's like, that's why I've written 30 hours on soda and pop.
what did you call it? I mean, Florida, I think, is a soda land, right? It's
Yeah, soda.
yeah.
Soda, for sure.
I think
wanna
pop
get-
is more East Coast. Is that right, Noah? Or were you a pop?
I thought pop
never
was
called it pop.
Chicago, Midwest.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Well, I grew up in Ohio and
Yeah.
Missouri. We called it soda.
My cousins called it pop.
Yeah.
Let me get a pop.
When we moved here, there were a lot of things that people said that we were just like, what the fuck?
Like
'Cause
white
I was-
trash. Get out of here.
Honestly, white trash is one of them that they burned in our zoysia yard. Is that the
I like
kind
the
of
idea of someone getting
grass?
a
Yeah.
white person getting more mad at another person being even whiter.
White trash is so mean, but it's it's a crispy word.
It really is.
White trash. Trash is just like it's one syllable, yet it has so much trash.
Because white is kind of looked at as angelic and white, for
Yeah.
a wedding, and then trash.
Yes.
It's a nice combo. It's a nice balance.
Well, that is an interesting thing that you say that was one of the words in Cincinnati we called white trash hillbillies.
Oh,
And here in St. Louis, they call them.
mayor. No, I don't know.
What do you think they call them in St. Louis? Like white trash, and not the word white trash.
No, I know. Rednecks.
No, I think that's more
That's a Florida
South,
thing.
and that's
Yeah.
more like celebrating. Like I'm a redneck. It's not like derogatory.
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
Oh.
Whereas in Ohio, Hoosiers were like that's the Indiana team. That's the movie about the guys cycling.
Yes.
You know that, but here we moved here and no one used hillbilly, and we had songs about hillbillies. My sister made a song that was like hillbillies busting up the town, hillbillies running naked all around, hillbillies having lots of fun, hillbillies gotta get one. I don't know why you gotta get one. Yeah, ding 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 ding. Hillbillies busting up the town, hillbillies running naked all around, hillbillies having lots of fun, hillbillies gonna get one.
I had an espresso.
Dude, you got some
That's
cardio
pretty good,
in with that little
right?
chick. That was good. That was fun. My sister used to do a jig where she would almost very similar to that.
Oh, it's
That's
a fun.
incredible
I
that
love a
elicit
nice
that came
jig.
out of you.
I just want to hold a not a teapot. What are those? A jug.
Oh yeah,
What do they call it? Something else? A jug?
man, a
I love it.
canteen.
Oh, that's another. I think there's 2 different names for canteen.
Oh, my biggest word that I used to fuck up was that people go, "What did you say? Where are you from?" Was COMPASS.
Wait, what's that?
COMPASS. How do you say it?
Compass.
Yeah, people say compass, but to me, I was like, it's not CUM, it's compass.
Oh, or I thought you were going to say compass.
Oh,
On my chest.
Yeah, there's a little valley. It's the compass.
It's the never-ending story where the 2
It's a
things
flash
shoot.
flood coming down.
Canteen. I love the canteen. I
Thermos.
love the feel of a canteen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that metal, and then you would put like a cover over. I don't know. There was a very nice texture.
Kirsten had one in her basement, and we used to film a video of a homeless man who had a record release.
Wait.
I think I talked about it before.
I don't think you said this before.
Okay, so there was this. We did a series of videos. We were. I hate to brag, but we were so funny. Kirsten's one of the funniest people
Yeah, she's
alive,
great.
and so she really inspired a lot of this. But we had this canteen. We would put on a bunch of coats, and then I would sit on the stairs and play my canteen and just like go oh, and just kind of like grunt and hit the canteen. And Kirsten would do the voiceover that was like, "He's back with another album." And it was just like me, just this. We would do jump cuts, like we would just press record and then unrecord, record, unrecord. So it was just this hectic thing of like oh, and it was like it was so weird. We were so weird, and I think that was probably the same night we were down in her basement making videos. And I remember her mom came to the top of the stairs and was like, "Girls, Princess Diana's dead." And we were just like, you're fucking up our shot, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like it didn't
Playing
mean
the
anything.
canteen over here.
I remember I was actually deeply like affected by it because I could tell how much it mattered to the world. But do you remember you don't remember where you were for 9/11, let alone Princess Di? Do you remember anything about when you found
Princess Diana dying. I think I was.
out? You found out.
I think I was in the
9/11,
car.
like 3 days.
I think
later.
I was driving behind her. I don't know, dude.
Do you remember
paparazzi.
Noah? Was that a big deal to you at all?
I remember it, but it didn't really like affect me emotionally. I didn't understand, like I didn't grasp the size of a princess being chased by a paparazzo. And
I mean, I don't
Dying
even think
and stuff.
anyone put that together until later, but
Is paparazzo
like-
a male paparazzi or is that
that's a single.
interesting?
Yes. I
didn't
also
know
just
that.
found out that mitochondria is the plural.
Plural of mitochondro.
Chondron. DRON. Chondro.
What is my what is that again? Is that a disease?
You recommended mitochondria is like the thing inside of a cell that is like the center where all the stuff happens, all the energy happens. I don't know. I'm reading a book about fucking science and the mind, and they
I'm
talk
reading a
about
book on
mitochondria.
enlightenment right now.
Oh yeah.
I've gone through like 3 pages, but so far things are positive.
What where'd you get recommended it?
My
Why?
brother recommended it
Yeah.
to like see positives in the world that's
What's it
falling
called?
apart.
nice.
Oh, I've heard of this book where it's like about how everything's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, people are talking about this book.
Oh, really?
Where it's like the theme of the book is you get to the end of it and things are getting better as opposed to worse.
Yes,
actually.
essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after you read it, you feel a lot better about the world. And I don't want to be lied to, so I'm not going to read it.
Well, I'm at 2% right now, and I think that includes
2%
the
is
introduction.
I am so sick of introductions. I've said this before.
I've never read an introduction
Get
in my
outta
life.
here. Why am I
A
going to
foreword?
buy a book?
A
and then-
forward?
Forward? I'll forward this book to the trash.
I'll
because
backward it.
I don't want to hear another. I bought this book to hear you write. I don't want to hear your friend tell me how good this book is. I bought it already.
And I don't need you to give me a synopsis of how good it is or what it's about.
Oh my God,
Just
and then-
start it up.
It's what inspired to write it? Stop it. What happened to just like for John? For mom. Like that's all I need out of a page. I do not need I will tell do authors not realize that forewords the only foreword that I will say is worth reading is that I've heard about because I haven't read the book yet, but I do own it. Sona Movsesian is Conan's assistant, and he wrote the foreword to her book, and I read it because they posted it on the subreddit, and it is so fucking funny, as is the book, because there's so many excerpts from the book.
You're really getting off your
That's
your
the
high
only one I
horse.
want to read, unless the person that is writing it is the funniest person alive, Conan
Yes.
O'Brien. I don't want to hear a foreword. I can't even believe this. We bought your book.
Yes.
You won.
You're in.
I think they think that people, when they buy a book, they only read. When they're at browsing at Barnes and Noble. This must be based on like trying to get people to get your book. So a foreword it's like the preview for your book, but
Yeah. You know how long a
not
trailer
any-
is? A
people
minute
don't-
and a half.
Yeah.
You want to do a forward, an intro, 2 paragraphs, a double space.
That's what the back of
Times
the book
New.
is for, is to tell you what the book is about.
Yeah, show me a photo of the guy. I'll tell you if I
A
like
black
him.
and white picture of the guy in the corner. Tell me the Canadian price. That's a couple dollars more.
Why is it so expensive?
I don't know why it's more in Canada. I
And
don't
it's
know.
99 at the end.
And they got more
Stop
trees up
it.
there. They got
Stop
more
trying
paper.
to trick us with this 99. We know
It does work though.
every time.
It works. It makes you think that it's $12, not $13. It's just $12.99.
Oh, you go all the way down. I was thinking $11.99 is $12. You think $11.99 is $11?
No. But that's why
Yeah.
they do it. Is because people do think, and you do too, whether or not you know it. It's like it's a proven method to make people think that they're getting a deal when they're not. They're saving a cent. But I feel we've talked about this before. If something is 13.00, I see zeros and I go, I'm getting a deal.
Yeah, I see. I
When I see
got a free
99,
book.
I go, oh my god, too many high numbers.
It could be $200. It's a free book if it ends with zeros.
$199 seems so much more
Oh
than
my
$200.
God. $199? Fuck you, dude. I'm not going to spend that for that eraser. By the way,
Nothing is $199 anymore. By the way, I don't think anything is.
hey, somewhere. Steven Pinker is the guy's name.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called Enlightenment Now: The Case for Reason, Science, Humanism, and Progress.
I have a lot of Steven Pinker books
Do you
sampled,
really?
download. Yeah,
Oh.
he's written a lot of stuff that is recommended by like Sam Harris. I one time went to a list of books that Sam Harris recommends everyone read. And
I have a
Steven
big
Pinker's on there.
problem. Another big problem.
Uh-oh.
Samples. Stop filling it with the intro and the forward. Start your sample
I think
on
they-
chapter 1.
It's a good
and give
point.
us,
That's a good point, Andrew.
Wait,
but
you're
I do.
getting off?
I
I
actually
thought I
think
had a teammate.
that is the only. No, I got to get off this train. Sorry, you're a Hoosier.
Taylor's on it, stealing something. Probably the book.
Taylor is on it.
Amdrip.
So
1440.
40.
I don't know,
Yeah, who
actually.
knows at
Who
this
knows?
point? But
or take, 99.
no, I actually the best part about reading digitally
Yes.
is that you get a sample.
Okay.
You can sample any book you want, and I do feel that someone is actually whoever creates the samples for books doing a great job, because it is enough
Interesting.
to actually give me a good sense of the book. I would think it would be some program that they'd run it through and just go, oh, the first 25 pages, cut it off, and it would just be, that way for every book.
Yeah.
But someone's paying attention to go, we're going to give them enough. So I gotta say that I think people take it into consideration. Whoever's choosing the samples,
Yes.
at least for Apple Books, they're taking into consideration that the foreword no one wants to fucking read, and they go beyond it. I don't think you've made it past the foreword though.
I don't feel like they give you more. No. I'll fast forward the forward in a sample.
Oh, right.
And then I get maybe 20 pages a book on the phone. So that's like, and then you make it bigger
Depends on what your
space
font
and
is, size is.
Yeah. You ever make a children's book 3,000 pages?
Oh my god! I mean, that is what every book is for me. Is like 3 words per page, and I'm like, God, I'm fucking.
You're like reading the
flying through
Iliad.
this.
It's like, no, this is Bearstein Bears.
Mandela effect. You know that?
Yeah, yes. You always ask me that like I've never heard it before.
I saw there's this show on HBO that was talking about the Mandela effect about.
Oh, there was. I forget what it was. I swear.
Yeah, it's the guy that if you watch The Rehearsal on HBO, they suggest this show. And it's,
Did you watch the Carmichael movie?
No, but I watched The Princess, which is another thing that you recommended to me. Did you watch the
Did you watch
Princess
the
Diana?
Manti Tao?
No, we were watching something else. You recommended that as well. I'm going to watch it.
You guys
Have you watched The Most Hated Man on the Internet?
No.
Oh, that one's good too. Noah, are any of these ringing a bell? Did you watch the Princess Di one?
Who was it, Crystalia? You could cut that out.
That's part 2.
And just leave it there.
Cut it out and then just put it back in. But like,
Copy and paste it throughout the episode.
no, can I just say The Princess? I really recommend The Princess on HBO. About Princess Diana. It is so good, captivating. I'm riveted by her.
I'm
just how
halfway through.
Soft she spoke. Every time she talked, it was always like this. She never once like raised her voice. It was always this soft.
I
And
felt bad for her because
she-
I felt
of
like she
course.
wasn't able to talk, and that's why it probably built up inside her, and then she left.
And
him.
then she went through a tunnel really fast because she was being chased.
No, but I think part of
No.
the marriage, she probably got tired. She kept getting older and more mature. When she met him, she was so young.
Right.
That first interview, she was like,
Oh, she's 19. They
Yeah.
met when she was 16, suspicious, because
Yeah.
he was definitely in his 30s
Yeah.
when they met. And
But
she
in
was
England, that's-
16.
it's like, you get your beans and your eggs.
Yeah. In tooth age, it was 80. He was 80. And then the interesting part about the princess, because I thought I knew everything about Princess Diana, just because late nights, just Wikipediaing and going down those wormholes, going through those Paris tunnels. I did not know that he was jealous of her. And he was jealous of the attention she was getting.
For sure.
I did not know that was a part of it because he just seemed like a guy that actually was more like Prince William, Prince Harry, didn't really want attention, was happy that it would go to someone else. How did he not know she was going to get so much attention? She was this beautiful girl that he like kind of plucked out of not nowhere, but she was a nanny. And but this little pipsqueak motherfucker was so jealous of her. And she did not do anything to try to get this.
That's probably made
attention.
him more mad. Can you imagine?
I just
it's like I
imagine
do
their
everything.
fights.
I ride a horse. I murder poor people. I do everything. And then this girl just wears a sweater with shorts, and everyone loves her.
Oh yeah, she was just so.
I love that look, by the way. The
Sweater with
and
shorts? What do you mean?
It's
What
just
is
a
it?
great look. She has. I think you have the. Don't you have a photo in your
Oh,
bathroom?
like big chunky shorts?
No.
You mean bicycle shorts?
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
okay.
with a sweatshirt.
Yeah, that is. It's not a sweater.
Sweatshirt.
Yeah, but a sweater's a very different thing than a sweatshirt.
And when
Several.
she wears a not corduroy.
Do you know what they call sweaters in the UK?
in the Midwest?
I guess in London,
Pop necks?
and I think also in Australia, they call them. Noah, do you know what they call them? Jumpas.
No, I don't.
Oh.
What is it?
Jumpas.
Then what are jumpers?
Well, what are jumpers here? Not the people that jump.
No, but there's
It's almost
jumpers
like corduroy
are
or like
jumpers pants?
overalls.
Jumpers. I got my jumpers
I'm wearing
on.
a jumper. Oh, I don't know. They're sweaters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe.
So interesting. Let's get back to this right after this break. Andrew!
Coming around the mountain and I come.
All right, we're back. Yeah, I could not believe. I just am just so grossed out by. I guess I'm so lucky in my relationship that Chris lets me
Do you?
shine, and it doesn't get jealous if I get a lot of attention, and he's kind of like not. He has no issue with that, which I could not handle that. I would be a Prince Charles about it. But if I were Prince Charles, I wouldn't marry someone who's going to take more. I wouldn't marry a Princess Diana. I would marry a Camilla Parker Bowles.
No, but I think that's what, in his mind, he envisioned. I met a nanny in a field.
I'm going to get attention for this.
I'm going to get it. Well, I'm going to still shine because she did seem somewhat reserved. She's pretty, but she's not like vavoom kind
Yeah.
of look. She has like a very like regal,
Oh my God.
like
She's so beautiful.
no, but she is. But
Obsessed.
I think in his mind, he didn't. When I look at her, I see like a well sophisticated looking, not like a model looking kind of
Yeah.
woman.
He didn't know people would just be so drawn to her because she was
Yes.
so kind.
Yes.
And people just wanted to connect with her. And it was the first time, the British royal family was actually like approachable.
Yes.
Everywhere she went, little kids coming up with flowers. She would be like beating off paparazzi, and then she'd like see a little kid, and she'd be like, "Oh, thank you! Oh my gosh, thank you!" She was just such a sweet person.
She went to the AIDS festival, not the festival.
Yeah.
The AIDS hospital.
Yeah.
And like at that time, people were still afraid to be.
Oh my God, people
like,
thought you could get AIDS from the air.
Yeah.
They didn't know, and she's holding hands
Yeah,
with
it was a
AIDS
lot.
victims,
Yeah.
and so sweet. I cried so much in those scenes where she was just so kind to people who were like invalids. But yeah, it makes me scared of like the idea of ever being out there again and having someone seem cool about like, oh, you're in the spotlight, and then start to have this shift of like, wow, you really yucked it up today. Like, he made little snide comments
I
during
know.
press
Yeah,
conferences,
yeah.
and you could only imagine the fucking vitriol that came out when they would get on the plane, where he got no attention, and she's like waving and getting so many flowers. You can tell him. I could predict. I bet you anything. At one point, he was like, "You love this." You love it. And she's
Oh,
like,
for
I'm
sure.
not doing anything, Charles. I just tried to walk to the plane. And he's like, you love it. You.
Meanwhile, he's cheating out in the open.
Oh my
a
God.
full-on other relationship.
Yeah, that he was in love with this other girl. And
Yeah.
she really wanted that marriage to work. It was so much that I didn't know about. And the documentary is really done so interestingly because it is not narrated. There's not talking heads that usually drive a documentary narrative. It's just sound bites of the press talking about her and the public weighing in on what they think of her. And it's just so interesting how quickly they go from like, we love Diana to she can't get enough attention. She loves leaving her house. Like, she's being hounded by paparazzi to leave the house so she can go to the gym. And they're like, why doesn't she just, I have a recumbent bike in my living room. Why can't she get one? She lives at Kensington Palace.
Yeah.
And they're like, because she likes people. And they're like, oh, she loves attention. And this woman is just
Whenever
such a
you
cunt.
see someone getting a shit ton of love, the flip side of that is going to be so fucking dark and negative. It always happens to
Yes,
people.
yes.
And that's what happened to this football player. I could tell you like a little
Manti
bit.
Te'o.
Yeah,
I remember it kind of.
his grandmother and his girlfriend died on the same day, and that was the big story. And people
remember
all
that.
rallied behind him. And then the girlfriend ended up being what everyone was told was made up.
Right.
He got catfish before catfish was a thing.
Right. So he thought he had a girlfriend, but everyone thought that he was lying.
Yeah, because he never met her before, and she died of leukemia. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what her. You just got to see it. She
Okay.
made up a whole family.
Where is he now?
He ended up playing in the NFL for like 8 seasons.
Oh, okay.
And married
so he
with a
didn't
kid.
Die.
No, he didn't die.
The other documentary, The Most Hated Man on the Internet, is so good. And it's about, I didn't even know about this website. I always knew about revenge porn, but I did not know about the website isanyoneup.com that was like huge from 2011 to 2012. And it was like a place where girls would upload, photos of their exes or people who had scorned them and then leave their address, their Facebook, their Insta, everything so that you could troll them. And these girls suddenly wake up one day and they go to work and they get a call from their friend being like, you're on this site naked. And the girl's like, I've never sent that picture to anyone. And that's where it begins. Was like, this wasn't a boyfriend. This guy was starting to get into some stuff where it's so good. There's so many heroes, and it's a beautifully done documentary. A lot like that Don't Fuck with Cats one, where it's like, whoa, this is a roller coaster. Like, that was so good. Yeah, there's so much good stuff to watch out there. The rehearsal, I talked a little bit about it, but that is amazing with Nathan Fielder. I think a new episode just came out last night that I'm so excited to watch.
What's interesting about these documentaries is like even something like that or the Te'o thing, the world has changed so much in 9 years.
Yes.
Where, the big story was, is he gay? Is he gay? He's a football player and he's gay.
Oh, wow.
And everyone, even Anderson Cooper's like, we all really think he's gay. Like, everyone's jumping on this, like, he's lying. This guy was loved. His grandma died. His girlfriend died. Now everyone's like, he's made up a story because he's really gay. And that's literally every story.
It is wild. You're right. That the culture has shifted so much that that would never.
Never.
It just wouldn't be the main headline
No,
of it. Maybe
no.
like people would be like, he's really good.
Yes,
like in
yes.
their privacy of their own
But it
homes.
wouldn't be the main thing.
It wouldn't be on CNN going across on a scroll. Is
Yeah.
he gay? There was
And
the
the
same thing
idea of
with this
nudity on the internet, like now OnlyFans is here, where I'm not saying like you have
revenge
control
porn.
of it, but
then was just like people fucking loved it and didn't see a problem with it. Now
yeah.
that would be fucking insane. It's like that's progress. There is
Yeah.
that we don't.
David Pinker
lambast
writes
people
about
for being gay. Yeah, probably. And
Yeah.
that we would probably. It makes you think about what is happening right now that will either not be cool. But there's also, the woke thing, the woke trend of like.
where it goes overboard.
Yeah. Where there's a lot of things that I think we're going to pull back from that, and we're going to get a little bit more lax about stuff. And
Well, Te'o was there. Finally, he did an interview, and they're like, "Are you gay?" And he goes, "Whoa, far from it." Like he had to like lean into and the whole audience goes,
It's so crazy.
And I'm like, is this like bizarre? I'm like, what
People
year
are
is this?
still like that about gay.
Yeah.
Like they're still like that about. I wonder. I mean, as someone who's not gay, at least I don't think so yet, or doesn't identify as bisexual or anything, it still must hurt. I mean, to be gay and then hear things in society that still people go like, I'm not fucking gay. Like there's still this repulsion to the idea that you might be gay.
And that same person,
we have not progressed that much.
It becomes like part of the DNA of like, I'm not gay. And then you go, well, that comes off a little homophobic. And you're like, I'm the last person to be homophobic. And it kind of reminds me of like when I tell someone I'm Jewish, not in like New York City, and they go, you're a Jew? And it like comes off like in a way where they don't even mean to be. This happened at the gym the other day, like whatever. Someone at the gym, they're like, you're Jewish? Well, actually, you look like a Jew. Like they were like saying it like that, and I'm
not kidding you. I'm not excusing it. People in the Midwest are so fucking dumb when it comes to Jewish people. We just don't.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not like mad. It's just like they don't even realize how it comes across.
Nathan Fielder's show, The Rehearsal, there is he is having this guy rehearse having a conversation with his brother about. This, the show is about rehearsing really tough things in life that you're gearing up for. And so he's having a conversation with his quote unquote brother, played by an actor, about his father's inheritance. And he's trying to get his brother to give him some of it because his dad wanted it that way, but didn't write him in the will. And his brother thinks he's a gold digger. So he's trying to convince his brother, like my girlfriend is not in this for money. Like if you give me money, it's up to me what I do with it. Even if I do give it to her, like dad wanted it this way. And they start, I mean, this is in, I think, Oregon. Yeah. Fucking.
In the woods of Oregon.
Yeah. And so within seconds.
Is his girlfriend Jewish?
No, but Nathan Fielder is standing above them with his like little laptop around his like shoulders, monitoring this rehearsal, helping them practice. And then he's like, "Now don't be a Jew about it." Just like, and he starts saying, and Nathan's just like looking around, like, whoa. And he goes, "I have to just cut in here."
The brother went to the other brother. Don't be a Jew about it and give me some money.
Yeah,
essentially,
is telling the actor brother. And Nathan goes, "I have to say."
These are the actors.
No, the real guy is practicing with an actor
Obviously,
brother.
This show's a little confusing.
So the real guy says that.
Yeah.
And he says some other stuff too. And Nathan is just like, and Nathan goes, I feel this is it's anti-Semitic. And he goes, and he's like, but I don't want you to not say what you would say. And he goes, is this a conversation you would have with your brother? And he's like, well, yeah, that's how we talk. And he was like, well, it's really reeking of anti-Semitism. And he was just like, there was no acknowledge. This guy's a sweet guy too. Like this guy is, you find out, you could come to love this guy for what he does for this old man. He's such a sweet guy. He just doesn't know that's like,
I mean, that was my whole childhood.
It's crazy.
That happened. I remember
you're still encountering it in St. Louis from adults.
Well, it reminded me like that conversation because living in New York, there's no plight of the Jewish person in New York City because New York, all the Jewish people, they don't really understand. They get anti-Semitism a little bit, but people are well off, and like there's a lot of Jewish people
and
there.
And there's a lot of identity of like we're Jewish and like, but
and
here
proud and loud about it, and it's great. But then here or like in Florida, like right when I hear that, I just go right back to my childhood of
my God, yeah.
But I heard that so much. Don't be a Jew about it. Don't be a Jew about like that. I didn't mind Jewish jokes, but when it became such like part of the lexicon, like of like, hey, don't be a Jew about it and pay extra, or like, dude, fucking wait. That's when I would get like a little upset.
Yeah,
but those same people again would literally like they would give me money if I really needed it. They would fight for me. They were really good friends.
Yeah.
But they were just ignorant. And it's just like, what do you do with that? I don't, they're still my friends. I'm not. I
mean, I guess you could say it hurts my feelings, but then you get called gay.
Yeah. Then you're a gay Jew.
Yeah.
And then
I wasn't going to say it, but I was having this conversation when we were watching this with Chris about, can you say Jew if you're not Jewish? I feel like it sounds derogatory, even though it is the correct term. It
depends how it's used, right?
Well, no. Well, if you're just saying someone's Jewish and say, "Oh, they're a Jew," like
that's fine. That's fine.
It sounds yuck to me, and I know that sounds Jewish,
sounds
but it doesn't sound It doesn't. It sounds. I guess because
You
people
look, it's way worse.
people who talk derogatorily
Well,
about
Noah's
Jewish
Jewish.
people.
How do you feel when you?
Yeah.
It's how it's said. It's the tone. I think atonement.
Yeah, it is.
If you will.
Right, like it is the tone, but there is something kind of dirty about it.
I agree. Just say Jewish people. It's like
Or
saying
just say he's
it's
Jewish
like-
or she's Jewish, not a Jew.
I think it's the way black. He's
Yes.
black and he's African American used to be. I think now black culture has like adopted like we're black and that is like a
Well, if you're
fine
saying
way to say it.
black, that's bad. That's what I'm saying.
But you
like
can't
that's
say
equivalent.
she's Jew.
She's a Jew. Well, yeah.
That's not the right. But I do feel, and then I start to go, well, is my feeling that it feels weird based on my own like is am I not saying it because I really want to like or whatever it is
Well,
like
we're comics too. A lot of times, a Jew like is a punchline, so we think of it as.
I think
like,
that's
yeah,
why. It's
maybe
because
that.
every joke about Jewish people is not like, oh, don't be a Jewish person about this. It's don't be, so
Yeah.
it's always just a quicker.
Well, Jew's a strong word. It's just like it's long. It's like clue.
it's
Jew.
like the
it's like
trash, like the word I was saying
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Like it has a lot of crunch in it. And I don't mean to say that's not what I was. It's just like the phonics of it is like crunchy, and sticky. Don't put this on me. I wept when I wasn't Jewish from my dad's 23andMe. I want to be Jewish so bad.
Jew is like trash.
No, it's if you listen. Please do not take that out of context.
No, put it in and copy and paste.
Yeah, cut that out and then put it back in.
Yeah, look, when I grew up, I think I've told you a story where I went to temple with my Christian Italian friend on like a high holiday, like Yom Kippur or whatever. Neo-Nazis spray painted my whole temple, like 6 million left, die Jews, swastikas, like all
6
this.
million left.
Yeah, it was pretty clever.
What does that mean?
I guess like because 6 million Jewish people were killed in the Holocaust.
Right.
So 6 million more to go. Like the idea of like,
Wait,
oh,
but they only killed half of you? That's not a statistic. That makes no sense.
well, they're not the smartest people.
Well, you just said it was good. Kind of. You were like, it's pretty clever. What
Yeah.
I find there's
I
nothing
guess
clever
I gave
about
them too
that.
much credit. So anyhow,
Because I don't think there were 6 million left. It was 6 million killed.
yeah.
Right?
maybe like they
Yeah,
left
so-
the earth or something.
yeah,
I think he
maybe.
was talking more like 6 million more to go, like hypothetically, like kind of thing.
Or like repeat.
Anyhow.
It was.
It's some.
They're such
let's not be
idiots.
anti-semantics about it.
Don't be anti-Semitic. Just let them be. Let them have written what they wanted to write.
And I remember my buddy's never been to the synagogue before. He's never, so he's seen this. for
Wait,
the-
was it fresh paint like it happened the
Yes,
night before?
They did it because it was the high holiday.
Oh shit!
And I just remember my friend being like, "Does this happen all the time?" like being like,
Oh my God.
And I think a funny joke would be like, "You should see the inside."
People are so jealous of Jewish people. That is the so much hate for different
Yeah.
people comes from this and just jealousy that you're not that because I think that
Yeah, it's
there's
a
no
projection.
reason to hate anyone unless you're jealous
Yeah, and they don't believe in Jesus.
or you feel threatened in some way because you're jealous that they have something that you want.
Well, here's the weird thing is like when I was in public school with a bunch of, everyone pretty much had the same amount of middle income
Yeah.
to lower. I never heard, granted I left in like fourth grade, but I never heard anything really about you're a Jew, Jewish, like if anyone found out, it was nothing.
Yeah.
And then I went to private school, all Christian school, obviously there's going to be a little bit, maybe more anti-Semitic parent, but I think it's more about not just religion, but like Jewish people coming and making money and like
Yes,
taking their money.
You have what we are.
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
infringe on the things we want, and
Where I live, you still couldn't be a member of certain country clubs, and that was just like if you're black or Jewish, you can't be a member here. And those were friends of like that was not long ago.
God, it's so fucking.
But
weird.
but then if you say this, I don't think people understand how weird it is to be Jewish outside of like big cities. Like,
Yeah.
it really does get a little bit weird.
But the thing about it that's different from a black like you don't have you can say that people go, oh, you look at, but people don't know it by looking at you.
Of course.
so you don't
and
walk
that's even
unless-
worse because we're sneaky because we could pass as
Oh
white.
yeah, you guys are so sneaky.
Yeah, we're
but-
so sneaky.
Oh my God, it's so weird. Like I really do remember the first time hearing like a Jewish stereotype was when my dad was reading a joke of Sarah Silverman's out of like the New Yorker, and I was probably in high school.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was molested by a doctor, which as a Jewish girl is so bittersweet. And I just didn't understand it. I
Yeah.
still am like, kind of like, wait, what? I don't get it.
Every Jewish mother wants their daughter
Yeah.
to marry a doctor.
He had to explain it
Yeah.
to me. And I understand like anti-Semitism is like heartbreaking, but most of the stereotypes about Jewish people are like kind of, I never understood. I was like, so they are good with money and they are good in Hollywood and they're funny and
we
they
run the media.
have like little curly tendrils on their hair. Like what is bad about any of this? Like it just didn't seem, but you know, there's a history there that I wasn't aware of.
You're like, I would love to have curls. Like, that's where your thing. No, how do you feel? Did you, when living in New York City, did you deal with anti-Semitism? Or I don't want to like talk for people that grew up in the city, but just from what I noticed, like when I would tell the jokes of being from the South and being Jewish, they didn't hit as hard because I don't think people lived it as much, you know?
Not that way. Honestly, I think because I grew up in Brooklyn and it's pretty culturally diverse and stuff, I never really experienced anything directly anti-Semitic. But I think like through maturity or something, I realized that all those Jewish jokes that I would laugh at, or even if like they had like a positive connotation, like Jews are doctors or whatever, like I realized that like that creates anti-Semitism.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't know, I guess like in that way, and then like having to laugh at it is kind of like awkward.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yes. So, I mean, I can only relate as the only kind of, I guess, not minority, but disenfranchised group of which I'm a part of as being a woman.
Yeah.
And jokes about, like, sexist jokes, you laugh because you want to just, like, get along with people.
You
but
even
it's,
say them.
yeah.
Because you want to get to it before
'Cause
anyone
you-
else can hurt you.
Yes.
That was like my whole...
Dan Mintz had
yeah.
an amazing joke this weekend. I went to go see Dan
Yeah.
Mintz in St. Charles. He's one of the best joke writers out there, and it was so fun. It was the first time I can remember going to a comedy show ever and being served and like getting there
that's
and sitting
cool.
at a table
Yeah.
and like having a comedy experience. It was so fun. If you got to go see him, Dan Mintz. He does the voice of Tina Belcher on Bob's Burgers. But he's one of my favorite joke writers ever. It's just all one-liners. He's looking at he has a paper and he does like 200 jokes in a night. 200 one-liner jokes. But some of my favorites were having long hair makes it a lot harder to get a job, especially because you're probably a woman.
Yeah.
And then the other one I really loved was he was like, my wife is the only one I've ever been with. The rest of the women were 9s or 10s. She's the only one. It was so. I mean,
when they don't land as hard, he just keeps rolling through. Or
he'll address it a
He'll
little bit
address
and go
it.
like, well,
Those are the
because
thing
one
with
time he
one-liners,
did a
it's like-
he fucked up a joke. He goes, every belt is a snakeskin belt. If you really think about it, every belt is a snakeskin belt. And no one laughed. And he goes, what did I say? Did I say that? And he goes, I should just tell you that you guys, that joke is too smart for you all to get. Because there wasn't an aspect of it of like, was that too over our heads? But he was like, no, the joke is every snake is a snakeskin belt.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so he just fucked up
yeah.
one word, which I've done before. When I tell a joke sometimes and it gets nothing, I either go, I said it wrong, or I already said it. And on 2 show nights, it frequently happens where I have done the joke. On the second show, I will not know if I have done the joke twice or because I know I've done it once, but I'm like, did I do it in this set or did I do it in the set before?
Do you ever realize? So you realize it on stage. Now, do you stop yourself and go, let me move to something
I'll often
else?
go, did I do that joke? And then if no, immediately people will be like, yes, if you did. It rarely happens that I did it. I would say maybe 1% of times I think I've said the joke. Have I actually said it again? Because I will call it out because I do not want people to go, is she having a
Or
stroke?
are we in a matrix of some sort?
Yeah.
Like, that would be so crazy if you did a half-hour set and then did the same exact half hour, but don't even address it. Oh my God. It would be like the rehearsal kind of thing.
You
It
know
would
what?
be wild.
What happens often is that you have this happened all the time in the clubs when I used to have just like random people open for me. I wouldn't watch their set, and they would tackle a subject that then I would tackle, and there would be no connective tissue to being like, I know you just heard about this, and people would just be confounded. And then at the end of the week, I'd catch this guy's set, and he's been doing the same set all week, and I go, oh my God, I have been doing the same subject matter, very close to it, and these people must think I'm insane to have even gone.
How does this guy also have a baggy pussy? I don't understand.
Wait, did they hook up? Is that why he knows that experience so well? Yeah, it was
What do you? Yeah, I mean, it's it's funny. Like, I never have picked openers before, and you have to kind of think about that a little bit of like, what did they talk about? 'Cause
yes.
if not,
well,
there's gonna
have
be
them not be dirtier than you. Have them not talk about things that you're going to talk about, like subject wise, because you can, like I've told you certain times opening for me, like don't talk about eating ass, and it sounds like I'm like policing you,
No,
but it's just
I don't.
because you can only ring that bell once.
You're very kind about material of what I can. I mean, usually we don't have too many things that cross over, but I've never felt once like keep it clean or whatever. Like, it's literally been one line or one subject matter in fucking 3 years. Yeah. So it's like,
but that is stuff to think about. You can go see Andrew August 30th. Tuesday, coming up at Zany's in Nashville, and you can see me in Vegas on September 2nd. I would love if you would go. Benedict Polizzi from FBOY is opening.
If you want to see a way hotter version of me. A young, hot man. Is he doing shirtless or no?
Well, I always tell you not to do the shirtless part, but I'm going to actually ask him to include it in his. Yeah, I'm excited for him to do it. It's going to be fun.
Does he live in Indiana? Where does he live?
He lives in Indiana, okay. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But he's flying out for that, so that'll be fun. You'll get all. I think we'll do a little Q&A about FBOY Island.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love for people, if you want to plan a quick Las Vegas trip. It is Saturday, September 2nd, and it is my last show before I have my cords taken out.
Scrubbed.
Now, is there? I mean, I don't even want to put this out there, but I will, because it's kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Are there chances that this surgery?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But he said, in the 37 years I've been doing this, I've never had someone not like. He goes, you have to understand the risks because they are there.
Yeah.
But and he's flying back from Israel the day before. He gets in like that morning, and my mom was like, I thought because my mom was at the pre-op meeting, and she was like, what about jet lag? Are you gonna have that? And he goes, I'm a surgeon. I sleep anywhere.
Your mom asked jet lag.
Yeah, she asked. It was a good question.
It is a good
At first,
question.
I thought she was talking about me. I go, Mom, I'm coming from St. Louis. It's gonna be an hour difference. Shut up about the jet lag. And she was like, no, him. And I go, oh, so that's actually a good point. But I talked to a friend of mine had vocal cord surgery, John Mayer, and I reached out to him this weekend because I was having a lot of stress about it.
I'm sure.
That just started. Like, I was nothing but excited, but all of a sudden I'm like really scared about the 3 weeks of not talking. Like, really, like, I'm almost like solitary confinement for my brain. Like, am I gonna go insane? Like, how am I gonna, if even leaving the building, like, people in the elevator always are like chatty and like, or if someone holds the door for me and I don't say thank you, are they gonna think I'm a fucking bitch?
You can't say a fucking word.
Nothing.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna tape my mouth shut so I don't talk in my sleep, like that kind of thing.
Oh shit.
Are you gonna go
But
to your
he told
parents'
me-
river house?
Chris and I are gonna go away to some sort of resort, and so no is the answer to that.
You should be able to have.
I think I
you should
might
have
actually.
activities.
But I'm actually scared that if I go there, Noah, I will not. Someone might come across the cabin or like neighbors, and then I'll have to try to communicate. Like, I got a T-shirt that says vocal rest, can't talk. Chris and I are going to make more T-shirts that I can, so every day I can just wear a T-shirt because it's too hard to hold out your phone and be like, here. But I DM'd John and was like, I know you went through this, and he did a lot longer. He did months and months, maybe a year. He was no talking. What? And he said he suffered pretty hard he said I was going to discover things about myself. He said it was going to be amazing. You're going to write so much. You're going to learn things about yourself you never knew. It's going to be an amazing experience. But in order to be social, get an iPad, put it on a stand, turn it around so you can go to dinner with people, turn it around, get a Bluetooth keyboard and just type on it. And then it comes up on the iPad facing out. And that was his tip. And I thought that was so helpful. I was so excited. And he asked me, if the doctor said not to, because he had the same doctor. He asked me if he told him me not to work out. And I was like, no, because he said sometimes when you work out, you're like, ugh, like you grunt. And I'm like, I'm not doing any grunting. So mine's just like, I can still work out. I can still eat because nothing really touches your vocal cords unless you're like choking on water. That's the only time something touches your vocal cords. Otherwise.
Oh, okay. When you swallow. Nothing.
Yeah. I didn't really understand vocal cords. I don't think they have nerves, so I don't think it's going to hurt. There's very light bleeding. It's mostly done with like a laser.
It would be funny if like you get the surgery and then you now speak in an Asian accent and then you can't stop speaking and everyone's like, dude, this is not right. And you're like, you don't understand the surgery. It's not me.
Oh my God, that would suck so much. I would just choose to be silent the rest of my life if I just seemed like I was doing an impression of an Asian person.
Like you get canceled because your vocal. I mean, what is the surgery exactly? Like
it's called oh man. Let me just hold on.
She's going to get something that explains the surgery. What I'm guessing is they probably take a scalpel and they cut around the vocal cord. And what they do is they bleed it out. And then after you bleed out for about 4 or 5 days, you can speak better. You gargle your own blood, and then the blood vessels will then turn into a crystallized.
You're telling them about it already?
Yeah. Okay, I just explained exactly what.
Well, then I don't need to say anything because I'm sure you nailed it.
Essentially, it's the old medieval time of they bleed out your vocal cords.
Oh my God.
They put leeches on it.
The Nick version of what I'm doing.
How funny is that, dude? You go in for a cold, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna
drain your body of blood.
We're going to put leeches and maggots on you.
Well, leeches and maggots are great to clean out wounds.
Is that Noah's favorite band?
Leeches and maggots. Okay. So it's called suspension microlaryngoscopy with laser. And it's a green laser, so it doesn't burn anything. It uses a green laser, a G laser, a glazer, some may call it. Why not? And if you Google this doctor, you will. It's really interesting. He's operated on fucking everyone. I mean, it was like going to Planet Hollywood to go to his office with how many pictures on the wall of so many. That's how I knew John went to him. I was like, oh, there's a signed thing.
Is it all singers? Is there any other there's comedians or
Joe Buck? Joe Buck is the reason I'm going to this guy. Joe Buck saved the day and swept in because I went to a vocal coach who heard something. I went to a doctor she recommended who trained under this doctor, and then I talked to Joe Buck about it. I was like, I think I'm gonna need this surgery because I knew he had some, and he was like, you need to go to.
It's where they just put extra hair in your mouth.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, he's got hair.
Oh, yeah, he had the hair transplant thing. Yeah, that's how he fucked up his vocal cords because they put a tube in his throat, for the surgery, and it sat on his vocal cords too long and damaged them. So he got out of this hair transplant surgery and he couldn't fucking talk. And he's a broadcast. I mean, he's the voice of sports.
I was thinking because the guy talks obviously a lot, so he got it from an actual surgery. But so you could get it in a lot of But usually
he had a different operation than I did. Yeah, mine. It was really nice to hear the doctor say. First of all, they stick a scope down your throat, and so they spray the stuff in your throat to numb it, and then they stick a scope down, and then he makes me go. And sing. And he said, "Wow, you're the best I've ever had at you are the best I've ever had at sticking a scope down someone's throat and them singing and not gagging." He was like, "You are the best at having something down your throat and not gagging." And then I was like, well, I was bulimic in college, and my sex life is a popping off. But I really was. I had no gag reflex, nothing, and I could sing perfectly. And he was like, he was like, you're great. And then my mom was like, she is. And he goes, well, her chords are terrible. He was like, so he looks at it and he was like,
your mom's like, I would never watch her perform a scope while singing surgery. I would never watch that myself. But I get why people would like it.
If I wasn't her mom, I would not be here right now. I was like, got it, mom. So, but he was.
I love the idea of your mom being like a cancer surgeon.
What is going
like,
on, Luigi? What's going on?
is it
He's
butthole?
wiping his butthole on the ground. Here, come here. Can
get
I
it.
itch your butthole? Come here. You want me to green laser your butthole off? Okay.
So you get the scope, and
then he's like, it's really, this is bad. And so my cords, it looks like a vagina. There's like two sides to it, and it's all wet and mucousy, and it looked like the places where it hits, it's like all calloused and bumpy on each side, and it's supposed to be smooth. And then I've got this weird web space at the bottom that he might cut. He's like going to be like,
Whoa.
that might free up some more room, but then I'd have to stitch it up. So I'm going to
be
actually
able to
make.
sing incredible after all.
Well, I
this.
might have to have 2 surgeries.
Oh.
And which is another thing. He's like, I'll decide when I get in there if it's going to be 1 or 2. I'm never trying to make money off of you. Please don't think that, but this might need 2. Which is just like, oh God. But
Can you firm up the tits, dude?
but that's why I was maybe gonna double up on the surgeries because I'm out of work, so I might as well have maybe a little nip tuck, a little ponytail lift. Let's talk about this and top one, bottom one, all when we get back. Yeah, we're back. So yeah, I'm gonna sound different. It's like I'm a little bit of a.
Are you worried that your voice is gonna be too high, or like I think
No.
you have a nice, like in the
I'm
middle?
shocked that I don't get mocked more for my voice because it
Really?
is harsh and low and husky. But it's something that is. I get recognized for my voice more than anything. Anytime someone recognizes me, they always go, "I heard your voice," and I go, "I know that voice."
Dave Matthews.
And so, what do you mean?
Your
Dave
voice
Matthews
in-
Band. Well, that is a different voice entirely. So people don't tend to recognize me on that. But yeah, it is. I don't think that happens to most people of where their voice is. Although I was staying in LA this past week and I heard, yeah, well, we're waiting for another 2.3 million to finance the deal, and so we're gonna try to make it happen. And
Will
I was
Arnett?
like, who the? And I was like, that's a Baldwin. And I looked over, and it is definitely a Baldwin brother. And I was like, yes, I
Which
think it
one
was
was it?
Danny. He was the tall one. But so I do get recognized for my voice. So there's a little part of me that's like, I know people are going to be like, because people hate change. And so I know I'm going to have fans be like, you sound weird. I don't like it. But the truth is, like, I'm not doing this for my speaking voice. I'm doing this so I can sing because Keith Urban and I are had the same surgery. And Keith Urban, I was reading all these things about him, and he had always sung on a fucking broken voice. He broke his voice early on in his career singing in like loud Australian pubs. And then for the rest of his career, it just got progressively worse. But he was just like, it was like running on a broken leg. Like he just made it work. Like he was Jackie Channing it. You ever see those videos of like Jackie Chan like breaks his leg doing a stunt,
wow.
and then he just like keeps working on it? No. So that's what Keith Urban was doing. And he said that once he had the surgery, he was able to write so much more, and it freed up so much space because he was always so fucking worried about losing his voice, not being able to hit this note. Like it was consuming his life. And then after he got it done, he didn't know what it was like to not worry about his voice. And every time I sing or do like a little, like, even by myself alone in my, like, it's the thing I enjoy most in the world. And every time I do it, I'm always like, how long do I have before this gives out? Like I have a sweet spot of about 10 minutes where my voice sounds the way I want it to. And even then, not really the way I want it to, just the best that I can sound. And then the rest of the time it's shit. And it's like, after this, my speaking voice will be a little clearer. He said I'll still probably have a little grit to it like I normally have, but that my vocal range in terms of singing is going to be crazy, like exponentially different.
Yeah.
And it's all because I think yelling in my childhood home, we like having a big house. When we moved into a bigger house, the yelling to communicate with each other, I think broke me. Good, but it was just I almost started crying when he was like, there's a lot of trauma on these vocal cords. Just the word trauma, like validated,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so, and my therapist has even noticed that when sometimes I'm talking to her when we're on FaceTime, like when I'm having a hard time, when something is really affecting me, I just start grabbing my throat like this. And it's like that. She's like, that tells me that you have so much is being held back through your
I think you're just
throat.
pushing the skin back to look skinnier.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, please like me. Please
Also,
tell me
Nikki,
I'm pretty and young.
You said that like
You
fans
talk,
are
so-
sorry. You said that fans might be
Go ahead.
upset that your voice might sound different, but I was watching an old clip
Yeah.
and your voice has changed over the years. You still
Yes.
have like
Yes.
the same quality that makes it recognizable, but I think like your pitch has changed.
Totally. I listen to, even if you watch Perfect or
Yeah.
even if you listen to You Up, like some clips from that, I sound much younger and like sprier. And yeah, it's just, I'm so freaking excited to get that back and to have like a voice that isn't like grizzled and like my chords are just struggling every day. And the cool thing, like Steven Tyler has a lot of damage on his vocal cords, I've heard, but he makes the little space that he does of his chords that actually are soft and like he makes that little space work. He's like a genius. He's figured out a way through just training to maintain it, even though he has damage. So like your chords, you don't really have control over them. They're not muscles that you can control, but some singers, that's why they're better than others. There's something that they can do in there to make it work that I haven't been able to do. It's so it's, yeah, I think that if I'm able to like sing well and train it, it's like getting my guitar fixed. It's like I'm trying to play with a guitar that has one baggy string.
Yeah.
And like going like, why can't this is really what I want to do for a living, but like, well,
feel
you're
like-
never gonna be good if you have a shitty guitar.
I feel like the second week is going to be the toughest. Obviously, it's
and then
in the
third,
middle.
I'm gonna see the
light at the end of the
light.
tunnel.
Yeah.
So I think the second week you're going to start going, okay, like, because the first week it's like a new like challenge. It's kind of cool. Like I don't have to talk to people. I can actually focus on writing. I don't have to really do anything, which is so nice for the first time in your life.
As much as I love to talk, I really love not talking.
Yeah, it's
like
the best.
I love it.
I love a fucking nothing.
I love, especially if I'm like having a little bit of a today I just want to be. I don't like talking to people in elevators. I don't like. Today I got a weird fan thing. I was at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Got my coffee, sat down, and just to like.
I sat down in the Starbucks.
Yeah, just to have a couple sips and to think about our top one, bottom one. I was just trying to like sit down and think for a second. And this girl across the way just goes, "Good morning, Nikki Glaser. Hi, Nikki Glaser." And I just go, "Oh, hi." And I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it because I didn't want to have a conversation then.
It almost
And
sounded passive aggressive.
yeah, it was just like, I know who you are. And it was
Yeah.
like, it was fine. But maybe just add to it like, big fan, or like, oh, I know you from this, or like, not just like, did we go to high school? Like, I don't know. So I felt rude that I didn't go, hi, what's your name? But she didn't seem to even want that. She just wanted to go, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And
That's
so that was interesting.
It sounded kind of scary. Which, like,
Yeah.
Was it Brie Larson?
Hi, Nikki Glaser.
Whoa.
She was very sweet. What was that?
Was it Brie Larson?
Oh my God, Brie Larson knows who I mean, I was in Trainwreck with Brie Larson and we went to lunch together, I think once or twice during that process. And I definitely talked to her. And this was before she was Marvel.
Yeah.
Maisel. Before she was like superhero Brie Larson. She was, played
She
Amy's
was in-
sister
what's that movie
in Trainwreck.
where they were underground or whatever?
Oh yeah,
that was
Room.
her big
The
movie.
Room.
The Room. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I read that book. I didn't see the film, but she was very nice. So she knew. I don't know if she connected that I'm that person that she's watching on FBOY Island. But last night on her Instagram stories, got a lot of people messaging me being like, "Brie Larson's watching FBOY." And she was being like, when you're supposed to be memorizing lines and preparing for tomorrow's work day, but you can't stop binging FBOY Island.
That's a great
And then
plug.
she just kept writing like facial expressions of like watching, being like, like, and so it was like, yes, Brie Larson's watching.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny like how marketing works now. It's like that will get more people to watch the show.
Yeah.
That necessarily wouldn't have
Than
watched it than any
a
commercial
billboard.
or a billboard in fucking
Really
LA.
is about. It makes me regret not doing what you said with my reality show of asking my famous friends to just post about it, because it made me realize like that does get me to watch things, is when I see someone whose taste I trust or who I'm a fan of is watching something. That's the
sure.
biggest endorsement ever.
Dude, it was funny. I got recognized at Golf Galaxy. I went, of course, just as a guy that's on the range.
That a guy that's there every day.
The guy addicted.
Like, do you work here?
He's like, you don't have enough money for how much you spend here. And I was like, I know. It was funny though. I showed up right when it was opening at like 9 a.m. and I'll keep it short, but there's like a famous guy that makes putters named Scotty Cameron, and he makes these special select ones. And so right away they'll jump in value by like double if you could buy one.
Right. And
next thing I know, I'm on a line. I just was dropping Brenna off at work because her window got knocked out again. That's a whole nother
Oh my
story.
God, really?
And next thing I know, I'm in line to get a putter. I don't even want the putter. And there's a whole bidding war going on. People are standing in line.
It's that $11.99. It makes you want it because it's in demand. Other people are wanting it. There's a line,
and it's already on the internet for like $1,500.
Right. So
if you could buy
think about
one.
the resale and how much does it cost?
$650.
Oh, okay, so double.
So, anyways, long story short, like there's kids that can't even afford it selling their place in line. I'm like. And they're like, what do you want? I was like, I'm just here to get teased. Like, I don't even want to be part. It's just funny to be like.
You weren't trying to
get it. No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, one of those guys that was in the line to get one recognized me and like was really nice. He like really is into the podcast and like sweetest dude ever. And then his other buddy came up, you do podcasts? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't know who you are. And I was like, I'm not even trying to like.
It's the Prince Charles thing. Like, you love this, and I want to let you know that you're not as cool as you think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to putt. He ended up being a nice guy, but it is. It was just a funny moment of being like caught in a bidding war that you're not even supposed to be in. It's like it's funny to think like if you go downtown and next thing you know you're in a protest and you're like, I'm not even part of this protest. You know what I mean? Like, oh, these people are protesting abortion. I'm just getting a soda.
Sorry,
what happened?
Chris is entering the building. He's going to be on the show tomorrow, which we're going to tape right after this. Let's get to final thoughts. So final thought, let's just do top one, bottom one real quick. Today's top one, bottom one, the subject is
a party that you've been to.
That you've been to. Okay, the worst party I've ever been to was the one my sister threw in high school at my parents' house when they were out of town. She was a sophomore. No, she was a freshman. I was a junior. She was very popular, and so there were like seniors coming. I was a junior, and there were seniors showing up for like my sister. And it got so out of hand. Too many people found out about it. Everyone showed up. Kids were drinking, stealing my parents' liquor. A kid threw up in my parents' bedroom, like this, like bright red throw up everywhere. My sister left at one point to go get froyo with my friends and left me to deal with the party. I literally slapped her in the face.
What?
Because I was so mad at her. Yeah. Because I just felt like, oh my God, you are so fucking right now, not showing any accountability for this. It is out of control. It's,
what did she do when you hit her?
I mean, I think like walked out of the room. I mean, I don't know if I did hit her or if I wanted to so bad. I remember it almost either I did or like I can't remember because it might as well have happened because I wanted to so badly. The next morning, like kids were having sex in bedrooms. I mean, it was insane. And the whole time I'm running around just trying to manage it. And the next day, I found my parents like liquor that I had protected all night long, had been drunk as soon as I went to bed eventually, and I found the empty bottles and I just walked out and was like, who drank this? And then chased kids out of my house they ran from me. I chased them with the bottle, holding it, screaming down my street.
Literally like from Can't Hardly Wait, like that girl that, like from the party that's
like,
you can't go in that
in the blue dress. I was that girl.
Yeah.
And I cleaned everything up and my parents came back in town and it was really creepy because my dad walked in. He goes, "It smells like sex in here."
No, he didn't.
I swear to God.
Teenage.
He said it smells like sex. And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that meant.
Yeah.
But he knew something had happened. And then
they found
a vodka bottle cap and that broke open the whole thing. And then, my sister was probably grounded for a day or something. My parents aren't good at enforcing. But that was
These
the worst.
House
that
parties,
was hell.
You can't stop them.
I felt betrayed by my friends. I felt betrayed by my sister. Like they were like just went off with my sister to get froyo and left me at this party with all these fucking freshmen and these seniors that were showing up that I was like trying to be cool in front of, but I was also trying to like, man, it was awful.
I mean, what kind of person has a party at their parents' house and then gets fucked up and they're like, yeah, let's keep breaking shit. Like it's never fun for the person hosting.
Never.
You just want to be cool. You want like 10 people to like you. You know what I mean? Like you want some recognition.
Yeah.
And there's always a fight. There's always a fight.
And that's why I was trying to rack my brain to try to think of my parties today. I couldn't think of like my favorite parties because I was like, and then I go, well, think about your birthday parties and think about parties for, and I was like, never has my, like we talked about this, any celebration of me, I am not going to be having the best time as possible because I am worried about everyone else having fun. And, you know, especially if it's at my house, like, and definitely would never have a party at my own house. I mean, that sounds like complete hell. Like people just judging my hand towels. I couldn't even handle it. That's my biggest concern is like the hand towels in the bathroom. They like don't match anything. They're sometimes you'll find them on the stove hanger, like the door. Like hand towels can go anywhere in my house. And I know that certain women are like, these are the bathroom ones and these are the kitchen ones.
God, Nikki Glaser really just her hand towels are just really
you should see my hand
They're
jobs.
Mismatch. Yeah.
What about your favorite party or your least favorite?
Well, my least favorite, I guess, is probably in high school when I shit my pants. And
was that a party?
It was a party-ish.
In your pants?
Yeah, there was a party in there and everyone died. Yeah, I think I've told the story on here before, but just I'm trying to impress like 10 of the coolest guys by getting fucked up, smoking some weed, got a 24-hour virus, shit in my friend's bed, and then they yelled at me while I was naked in the shower, like crying, and I'm like, I'm naked, don't come in, and then they made me sleep on
you were so worried about getting made fun of at school that Monday, but that Monday someone else shit their pants?
The next weekend. So for about 4 days I was shit boy, and then someone shit their pants way worse, which was the best party I've ever been to because that guy saved my life.
That's so funny.
Anyhow, but yeah.
Noah, what's your least favorite party?
Okay, least favorite party was at a company that I worked for, and they definitely had a lot of resources and money to throw the employees good holiday parties. But one year they threw a party for us in like the lobby of the office, and the food that they ordered was like all cold. They had these like cold like meat sticks, and I just remember feeling like, oh, this sucks.
Just shitty. Realizing this place doesn't give a fuck about you, even when they're celebrating you.
It's like
I
one
love it.
time
Nikki
a year.
slapped her sister. I shit myself, and Noah's
and you
like,
had
this
cold
meat
in the lobby. I mean, honestly, her sounds worse.
Way worse. Because honestly, no, there's a lot to it.
That's the
there
one
really
time
is.
where you're like, you know, we're gonna celebrate working at this shitty place. We're gonna like enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, here's the treat.
It's just
There's,
an example of
sit.
There was some thing on Reddit that I saw recently of someone that works at Michael's, the craft store. Mm-hmm. It was like employee celebration, and it was like a gift, and you scratch off to figure out what you want, and it says unpaid time off.
Yeah.
What's the gift? So it's like it's moments like that where you just go.
Well, they give you little
Fuck
treats. They just give you little. They're like, here's a
To
free
pacify
coffee.
you. Yeah.
There's ping pong here. Oh my God, I'll live. I'll fucking die here making an Excel spreadsheet so I can play ping pong for an hour.
Man, I was walking by an office place the other day and just looked
Looks sad
inside and just saw these women wearing these uncomfortable shoes and like these, skirts that they didn't want to be wearing and having to sit at these. Just if you have a SSDJ, my heart goes out to you, and I want to hear about there must be something nice though about being able to leave it there. And I hope that if you do have one of those jobs, you don't have to take it home with you. The stress doesn't come home, and you can just like pick it back up when you get there. But oftentimes those things follow you. The best party I ever went to was the premiere party for the movie Snatched that Amy was in with Goldie Hawn. She invited all of us to go. We got to go on the red carpet, and then we saw the movie, which was, I really love that movie. If you haven't seen it, with Goldie Hawn, Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer, so good. But afterwards, the premiere party was nice. Like those parties are always so swanky and like great food that's warm, not in a lobby.
People aren't really fake at those parties though, or you feel like.
No, I don't know. LA parties do not make me nervous.
Yeah,
because I just know where I stand, and like I'll go on these red carpets. This is an example of one of them where Rachel Feinstein and I are there, but we know no one gives a fuck about us. I mean, this was
so just lean into that
6 years ago, and like no one knows who I am, and I love that because it's like you just know where you stand. You're not trying to be anything you're not. And I would go, Rachel, let's do the red carpet, and then usually when you go on a red carpet, your publicist follows you, like in front of you, and go and tells the photographers, this is Nikki Glaser. She is the star of this, or like either if you're the star of it, they know who you are. But if it's like you're just there at the premiere, they'll say she's got this coming up, and then everyone's like, Nikki over here. and they don't even know who you are, but they know because the publicist announced you. And I saw that happening all the time, and I was like, all I need to do is do that for myself. So I'm like, I'm Nikki Glaser. This is Rachel Feinstein. We're the next big things in comedy. We're going to be famous. You're going to want to have photos of us. They're going to be sold at some point. Like, just,
I mean,
and so the photographers would laugh, and then they'd take a couple photos, and then you get ahead of it. You would just address the obvious.
So what happened at the party that was memorable?
So then the best part about the party was the after party, because Goldie Hawn had Amy and select friends over to her house, and we got to party and sit with Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell in this amazing house, and Kurt's mixing drinks, and there's great music, and we're just sitting on. I just remember sitting with Goldie Hawn around a fire on their back porch, having a private conversation with Goldie Hawn with other people, but just being like, this is the coolest thing ever. And she's treating me like Amy always did a good job of making her friends who weren't famous commingle with her famous friends in a really seamless way where everyone respected each other.
For
I
sure.
met Diane Sawyer through Amy. Diane Sawyer came over to Amy's house one time. I'm just in a kitchen talking to Diane Sawyer. I mean, there were just so many examples of that. But that was one moment where I was like, I snuck a picture, I think, just to be like, Mom, I'm at Goldie Hawn's house.
Yeah,
like,
your mom
how
would
insane
lose
is
her
that?
shit.
So in terms of fun, I don't remember any of the fun we had, but it was just a cool moment.
Yeah.
What about you?
Pretty good.
Surprisingly, it was for my own birthday, my 30th. My brother threw that surprise birthday. I show up and
Were you all
everyone's
dressed like
in medieval times.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And everyone's dressed as some kind of medieval thing. One guy's wearing the best thing. He wore a Indiana Hoosier sweater, and he was
Oh my God, a callback.
He was Bobby Knight, which is
Bobby Knight, that's good.
And then my one friend dressed as not everyone stuck to
Dress up
script.
parties are fun because you know what? They take the pressure off because we're all going to look stupid.
We're all dumb. And so we go to medieval times, and I'm dressed as the king, and I take the king spotlight. Then next thing you know, the party, we have a drunk bus. We go to this one party. My two friends are dressed as the Burger Kings, and my buddy's on the bull with no underwear.
Creepy Burger King. Oh my God, gross.
He's riding the bull, and it's going, and you see everyone able to see his dick and balls, and everyone's going, "Oh my!" God.
You just see the reactions of people.
The king, and I'm in the shower, and everyone's like, "Dude, did you see the king's?"
Why is it
dick
so
and
fun to
balls?"
see people's reactions? There's this video I saw yesterday of this baby that his mom put eyebrows on him. These fake eyebrows. And the baby's facing the mom, and again away from the door, and you see the dad get home from a construction job. He's in this neon fucking sweatshirt, and you see him walk in, and then you see the dad kind of double take on the baby and just start laughing, and it just makes you so happy to wait for a reaction when someone notices something. There's something so gratifying
when
about
you see
it.
people getting grossed out by something.
I used to always watch reaction videos to Two Girls, One Cup. That was the first time where you were like, oh, this must be bad.
I mean, that's what Segura and them do with that live show.
Yeah,
it's all about reaction.
It is good.
And it was
Noah?
It was a crazy night.
Best party
So the best party that I could think of
was on the roof of the building that you worked on.
Was hot meat. We had hot meat.
Well, it was okay. So my friend Roland, he got me and my best friend Rob into the WWE 2K event, which is the video game that WWE puts out right before SummerSlam. And this is maybe 5 years ago. I was so obsessed with wrestling. So we got to interview wrestlers for a podcast. And then there was the after party. And one of the wrestlers, her name is Sasha Banks, her cousin or her uncle is Snoop Dogg. So he came out and he was DJing and passing around blunts and stuff.
Oh my God.
And I just remember having the most fun because I could see wrestlers and they were just talking to everyone, and you just have conversations with wrestlers and they're just
and you didn't
your
feel
best
like you
friends.
didn't belong.
I didn't feel like I didn't belong. I didn't feel like it was work. I didn't feel like I was a nobody among celebrities, because everyone was just engaging and just having a good time.
Was it weird meeting the wrestlers in regular you see this guy's X-Pac in fucking tights, and then you see him
Yes.
hey, how are you? Yes. Oh, how's the cheese?
Dress as a knight. Oh wait, I'm mixing up my parties.
They look so big on TV, or even seeing them in the ring and
Yeah.
stuff. They just look like figurines. Even the women. So with the exception of Charlotte Flair, who is like 6'3" or something, like the rest of them
But they're
either my
tinier?
height or smaller.
Yeah. That's the
I
thing
don't
about
know.
famous
I
people.
saw
They're
Hulk
always
Hogan
smaller.
And fucking, I don't know, when he
Andre the
was part of that
Giant?
one where they wore all black, when they became like, there was 3 of the guys. It was the biggest people I've ever seen in my life. I don't know, sometimes they're either gigantic or smaller than you.
Yeah,
you think.
that is true. I saw a picture of, this is the last thing I'll say, Ben Affleck this week. I was looking at paparazzi shots from their wedding that J-Lo and Ben got married. Ben Affleck is walking down the street with his daughter Violet, who is 15, and she is just probably 2 inches shorter than him.
Oh, wow.
And
he's
I
tall.
looked up Ben Affleck's height to be like, what is going on here? And she looks exactly like Jennifer Garner. Exactly. But she's wearing flats. She's walking like with her arm around him. So like,
It's not
or
a
like,
depth thing.
There's not a depth
Yeah.
thing. It's not a Johnny Depp thing. And it was crazy. And I looked it up. He's 6'2.5". So this girl is 6 foot at 15. Wow. I'm so jealous. I think it's so cool. I love a tall lady.
Did you see the video of him taking photos with people while
No.
he's smoking a cigarette?
No.
I got to show it to you.
Really?
He's
So wasted.
he's doing the nicest thing ever while being so upset that he has to take photos
really?
with like
Oh, yeah,
regular
I saw
people.
that.
Oh, really?
He's smoking.
Is it recent?
Oh, I thought it was the
You
video
know,
of
yeah.
him
and everyone's
meeting
like, wow,
a
what a saint.
publicist, and then like he's smiling, and then all of a sudden you see him just like
Drop
totally
it.
sour.
Oh, it's that Zoom
Yeah,
end
yeah.
meeting where your face just, bye guys, thanks so much. Okay, good. Drop. All right. Speaking of dropping out, we got to go. We're going to tape a new podcast that'll be out tomorrow with Chris. So look forward to that. Come see me in Vegas September 2nd. Go see Andrew August 30th at Zany's in Nashville. Show up. We would love to meet you and see you. And don't be cool. And Jack Harlow.
Jack the Ripper.